Okay, guys, here's our assignments for week 2, assignment 2. Now this one, it's not too bad. It is probably one of the more technical assignments that we do in here, where you gotta go in and you gotta sort of figure out your intervals and then your color wheels. So first thing we're going to do is start off with the color wheels. And traditional color wheels, this is, the Crayola color wheel. This is the one most of us are familiar with, where we've got red, right? And then what's the next? Right, yellow, and then blue. And I'm punching in the specific numbers. There's no guessing. 0 is defined as red. 60 is yellow. Blue is at 240. Green is at 120. Cyan's 180. Violet's 270. Like there's specifics that we all, sort of, we can be loose about it or we can be very tight about it. So, there's our traditional. And I'm going to go through the traditional more than I'm going to go through the other ones just because the traditional is kind of a pain because it accounts for value as well. If you ignore value, it's just going to get kind of messy. So I know that we go from 0 to 60 here. 20. So what do we got to do? 15. What's that going to be? 15, 30, 45, 60. So yeah, let's do 15. That's going to be your red-orange. It's a nice tertiary color there. 30 is the definition of orange. And then 45 is yellow-orange. All right, sweet, right? Looks good. Blue and yellow make green. Pretty sure Ziploc taught us that. Okay, so now this is green. Here's the problem with this particular green, though. Value matters. Look at how dark this is. Look at how light this is. It's not going to be this light. That blue is influencing the hue, but not the value. So I like to put this one right around 50. That tends to feel like the right green to put in there. It's about halfway between yellow and blue when we look at it in grayscale. And then from there, we can sort of go 60, 60 and 120, halfway between there is going to be 90. Nope. Yep. Come on, do it. What did I do here? 120. Yeah, okay, so 90. Okay, so now it's the yellow-green. It's not going, because it's so close to yellow, it's going to be mostly influenced by the yellow in hue and value. We probably want to knock it down just a little so that blue has a little bit of value influence there. Okay, and then the hard one is the cyan. This is one that people get wrong all the time. Notice the S slider on all these stays put. But that cyan is right up against, so like 40. Okay, so now that's telling me this green might actually need to go up a little bit. All right, because we want this color and this color to match this, average into that color. So that looks pretty good. Next step, we've got 240, go 270. And that needs to be pretty close to the blue, but we don't want it to be too dark. And then 300, this is magenta. This is sort of the halfway point. It's going to be a little lighter. And then 330 is that red magenta, red violet. Stick that in there. This one here looks a little bit like it needs to go down just a bit. And then that violet, I bet, probably could lighten up just a bit. You have to eyeball it too. You have to kind of figure out, does this get lighter as it comes around the horn there? Maybe. There we go. So that looks pretty good. Now, the last step for finishing the traditional is going to be to put what happens when you mix all of your primaries together. And a dark neutral is what happens. Realistically, if you're painting, if you've ever painted before, it's going to be something like a brown like this. But for this exercise, we can be very technical and just stick black or something close to black in there. So for the additive, and this video is going to go a little long. This used to be 2 separate assignments, but we're going to do it all at once. The additive, we know that red is our primary, and we know that green is also our primary. And you'll notice these are 120 degrees apart from each other on the H slider. You'll also notice that the circle has a 120 degrees plus 120 degrees is 240. 240 plus 120 is 360, and we're back around. This is a circle, believe it or not. This slider here is a 360 degree circle. And you can see it there. Now in between here you'd go 30, 60, 90, right? 120, 150, 180. And then, because these are going to be your secondary colors. So as long as these are your primaries and they're evenly spaced and fully saturated in there, you're good. The middle on this one, what happens when you add all of those light together? All right, you got to figure that out and put that in there, or don't put that in there. Subtractive, you're subtracting out all light. So we know cyan is our, let's see if I can get right on 180. Cyan is going to be our top primary. Add 120 to that and we get magenta, right? Add 120 to that and we get 60, or we subtract 120 from 180, depending on how you like to do your math. And then there's cyan, magenta, yellow, and that's our primaries for the subtractive wheel. So let's see, I'm going to pause it for a second, and we're going to then do the scales on another video.